Hi, my name is Ashley Sandifer, and today I'm here to talk to you about visual literacy. Well, what is visual literacy? Visual literacy is interpreting symbols and knowing when to use what text at what time. For example, can anyone tell me what this is? Does anyone know what this means? How about this one? If you can tell me what those are, then you are already on your way to learning visual literacy. Visual literacy can be looked at through many different ways: visual text, verbal text, and many different ways of instruction. Some examples of visual text are books, websites, and even something as simple as looking at a child's DVD. Visual text can make meaning with images. There are many ways of viewing visual text, as mentioned, through a book, which is a printed version, and a DVD, which is an electronic version. Maps are a fun way to look at visual literacy as well. Maps include both pictures and words that will help a child to determine where something is or how to get there, along with how far it takes. Most know that learning in multiple ways is a positive outlook on the way of teaching and instructing. Well, the same goes for visual literacy. We want to use multiple ways and tools, including words, pictures, sentences, paragraphs, and any other way we can to enhance a child's or anyone's education status. You may be asking, why learn about visual literacy? How is it going to help? Well, visual literacy is accessible to all readers. Some may be complex, but most pictures help students, the visual learners, help to understand a concept or maybe clear up a blurry one. Another question you might have: when am I going to use this in my classroom? Or how? All subjects can rely on the use of visual literacy. You can use diagrams for drawing information for a class that will help students to connect facts to what they are learning. Also, as mentioned, maps are always a good source to understand geography and social studies. This is a very exciting way, other than reading a bunch of words explaining how something looks. Why not see how it looks? Graphic organizers are a way for children to organize what they know, what they have learned, and what else they want to learn. Examples of graphic organizers are timelines, flowcharts, KWL charts, and many other types of tables to learn as well. Diagrams allow for more accessibility than words. Visual literacy stretches across the whole curriculum, covering many subjects and topics, such as reading and writing, science and technology, social studies, history, geography, health and nutrition, mathematics, and even arts and crafts, all of which can result in advanced skill building in writing essays, summarizing, doing research, helping comprehension, learning to read, and understanding problem solving and decision making. These are all very important skills to have. Let's look at some of the examples of organizers and ways of viewing visual literacy through many medias. For example, have you ever heard of a KWL chart? A KWL chart helps students to take what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned already and put them together. How about a bar graph? A bar graph takes information such as through mathematics and helps calculate numbers to a visual effect. This one is called a pre-reading organizer. This is something to do before you read a book. You can look at the pictures, talk about picture clues. You can also look at the title and heading and put clues down from that. Also, any other clues and ideas that a child might have, all resulting in a prediction about what the child may read. This one is called cause and effect, events and consequences. You put down an event, you put why it happened, and then you put what happened afterwards. This helps a child to understand events in a story. The next one is one of my favorites: what's important and what's not important. This can help to study for a test. What's the most important thing we learned in our class? and what's not so important? What's another important thing we learned, and what's another thing that wasn't so important? Next is another activity called 3-2-1 activity. This lists 3 new ideas that a child has learned, 2 things that a child already knew, and 1 thing they are still curious about after the activity. Another favorite of mine is learning vocabulary. This activity, called Fill in the Bubble, where you can start with a word, such as, let's say, stop. Next, you would put the opposite of stop, which would be go. In another bubble, you would put the same as stop, such as halt, or maybe a word that reminds you of stop. You can do this for many words, as a child will build his or her vocabulary along the way. Next is one called Word Sort for first grade science. This particular activity lists words such as cow, chicken, horse, duck, and pig, giving columns such as laying eggs, has 4 legs, has 2 legs, has a tail, and gives birth to live babies instead of eggs. This is a way for a child to organize their thoughts about what they've learned or possibly enhance their vocabulary as well. Overall, visual literacy is a good way to read and understand many things through many visual aspects. As a child, I know it was much easier for me to see things than read them. So, if you don't have visual literacy in your classroom, it may be something that you want to think about. Thank you for listening. That was Ashley Sandifer explaining visual literacy. Have a nice day.